nothing.
What's up, everyone? It's time for your news in motion. I am your host, Gail Dudley. Today is Tuesday, y'all. It is Tuesday, September the 20th, 2022, and it is time for today's headline news on News in Motion. Of course, today is Tuesday. It's on the ballot day, so we have a little twist to the headline news. I'm your host. I'm so glad that you have decided to tune in, whether you're watching live or the replay. We just really want to have a great time today and bring you some information that I believe you will be able to use. I see you, Deborah Johnson. What's up? As you come in, if you are actually on either Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, put a little message in there so I can give you a shout out. For those of you who are tuning in by audio, we just want to say thank you for spending a little bit of your morning with us. I see you, Latrice Jones. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And y'all know, do us a favor, share the link, share and ask and invite people to come and hang out with us on today. So just go ahead and share the link, share the link. I see you, Yvonne. I've missed you, girl. So good to see you this morning. I see you, Patricia Laus. Good morning. She says, you look lovely today, sis. Well, thank you. Trying all these colors, y'all. I'm trying all these colors and see what's happening. Come on in the room, y'all. Come on in the room. Again, it is Tuesday, y'all. It is Tuesday, September the 20th, 2022. What's up, Regina Shorts? What's up with you? Y'all tell me, did y'all do anything special yesterday being the first day of the week? Anything new? What's up, Kim Miller Edmondson? Anything new happening? Talk to me today, y'all. Let me know what's happening. Talk to me today. I'm just trying to see what some of you are saying. Y'all, we have our guest today, and he is in the green room. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. But today is also all about it's on the ballot. It's all about it's on the ballot. So I'm just excited. We have a lot of information to share. So if you know anyone, what's up, Pastor Angie Shannon? What's up? Been missing you. I've been watching the things that you're doing, the retreat you had. Was that a silent retreat? I want to learn some more about that. She said, saw the woman king. Yes, girl. Yes. Deborah said, I enjoyed the weather and I'm back to physical therapy. God is good. Went out with a couple of friends after work. That sounds good. Sardinia says, good morning to you, Sardinia, excuse me. The tree says, trying to figure out this weather. Girl, this is Ohio. I follow this Ohio group on Instagram, and they're always putting up a chart of Ohio's weather. And now they no longer have 4 seasons; they have about 10, and they always use an arrow and say, "This is where we are right now." So it's really nice to follow them along because it's absolutely hilarious, but they're on point all the time. So they were letting us know that we're back to summer. We had a false fall. We're back to summer. Next up is another kind of like false fall. And then they say you're kind of like in between to spring. And then it's just really cute how they put that together. This is Ohio for real, y'all. This is Ohio. 10 seasons. Yep, that's what they said. Yvonne said, so trying to get used to my work schedule that takes me out of the house. Oh, that's interesting. We got to hear about that. That's interesting. Yep, 10 seasons for sure. All right, y'all, we got a lot of information we want to get to you. So I do not want to delay. I want to jump right in. Y'all, today is National Voter Registration Day. Registration Day. That's today. So today is National Voter Registration Day. Y'all know what that means. I need all of the viewers. I need all of your friends. I need all the people that you influence to go out and get people registered to vote. I have a lot of information I'm going to share with you. So again, if you know anybody who's saying, I want to volunteer, I want to help, get them on board. Yeah, I'm asking, and I believe we have an image. I'm asking that all News in Motion viewers and listeners post the following image on all of your social media sites to encourage individuals to register to vote. It's kind of like a reminder, and then send them to www.vote.us. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that. We will also be putting that image on the Facebook page and on the LinkedIn page. If you're tuning in by YouTube, just send us an email and ask us to get that over to you. But y'all, if you would just take a screenshot of this image, September 20th, 2022, National Voter Registration Day, and it has the link. I'm doing a universal link, so that's why I use the vote.us link. Please encourage people to come out and get registered to vote. It is important. As you've heard me say many times, I believe this is the most important midterm election of our lifetime. So you don't want to sleep on this. I see you, Lori. I see you. Good morning to you. Y'all have a statement. Y'all know I can't see these days, so I got to read with this. Y'all have a statement. This is by the President of the United States of America, a proclamation on National Voter Registration Day 2022. The right to vote is the foundation of our democracy. It defines us as Americans and serves as the cornerstone of our liberty. With it, anything is possible in America. Without it, nothing is. It is a legacy passed down by our greatest leaders, a legacy which provides each of us with a voice in the creation of a better nation. It is the source of our power as citizens, our mightiest tool of social transformation, and the stabilizing tradition that confers legitimacy in our system of government. Each year on National Voter Registration Day, we reaffirm our conviction that democracy only works when everyone can participate, and we encourage all eligible Americans to register to vote. And again, this is coming straight from the desk of President Joseph Biden. He goes on to say, our nation has not always lived up to its promise of equal access to the right to vote. Yeah, really? And so many Americans have struggled, suffered, and died fighting for a say in the destiny of our country. He goes on and talks about from Seneca Falls, New York, to Salem, Alabama, to Washington, D.C., and across America, ordinary people have organized to protest disenfranchisement and won. He follows that by saying the efforts of these courageous women and men have led to the passage of a landmark civil rights legislation like the Voting Rights Act, the National Voter Registration Act, and the Help America Vote Act, which extended the blessings of democracy to millions of citizens. I'm not going to read all of this, but I wanted to pull out some key points in the rest of this document. It goes on to say, in celebration of National Voter Registration Day, let us honor the heroes who fought to secure voting rights and expand them. I call on all eligible Americans to ensure that their registration is up to date and to encourage their family, neighbors, and friends to do the same. Let us all remain engaged with the ongoing struggle to build America where every vote matters and where every citizen has the ability and the right to participate freely in our democratic process. We cannot give up now. The future of our nation depends on it. To learn more about how to register or check your voter registration information, you can visit, and here's another site, www.vote.gov. And then his ending, he says in here, he says, now therefore, I, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United States of America, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, do hereby proclaim September the 20th, 2022 as National Voter Registration Day. I call on all eligible Americans to observe this day by ensuring that they are accurately registered and by committing to cast a ballot in the upcoming election. In witness thereof, I like these things. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand to this 19th day of September. He wrote this yesterday. In the year of our Lord 2022, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 247th Joseph R. Biden Jr. So y'all, that's the proclamation that we are receiving. Again, it's longer than that, but I just wanted to read you a couple of things. So y'all, it is National Voter Registration Day. And what are we going to do about it? I want to call on all of us to really do our part. Make this day. Kim Evans says that sounds so official. Good morning, Dr. Antoinette. Yes, that part too. Pass the Voting Rights Act. That's that part too. What's up, Tracy Burrs? But y'all, I'm calling on all of us to do something. So y'all, here's another link I want to share with you. This is a great website. Y'all know I dig and find the best websites for us. I've given you so many, and I'm going to keep giving them to you over the course of this time leading up to November the 8th. But another great website is www.vote411.org. Again, www.411.org. At that site, you will be able to register to vote. You can verify your voter registration. You can find out what's on the ballot in your specific area. That's why it's so key to know your district. Please, y'all, learn your district. You can find your polling location, and then you can discover upcoming debates in your area, which I'm going to challenge all of you to go or tune in to the debates in your area. And there's so much more on that particular site, so you want to check that out. Now, y'all, if you're reaching out to people, yes, you can go to your BMV and get some voting registration cards and distribute them, but you can also lead people directly to these different websites. Y'all, once online registration is extremely quick. Registering online reduces errors on data entry. Online applications are submitted immediately, reducing processing time. It takes less than 5 minutes to do this. In many cases, it takes less than 3 minutes. Most people would need to have some sort of ID, but you need to know the rules of your state when you're communicating this. Registering online, so it saves the cost of postage, so you don't have to worry about that or trying to drop it off or giving the cards to people to have them drop it off. They can just go online. If you have a smartphone, an iPad, a tablet, or anything, you can help register people right there. To register voters online, you'll need to have, of course, internet access. They will not allow you to do that offline, because I've tried it. They won't allow you to do that. And then you can also find out where they are conducting different voter registration drives. Now, in addition to that, I have some additional information I want to share with you. Registering other people to vote encourages community participation. So you can have the registration forms, you can have the clipboards, you can have different type of paraphernalia, if you will, to give to people, like the nice bracelets with their plastic or rubber or whatever with the words on it, with the vote sign on it. Different things we're going to try to get from News in Motion going forward as well. Kenny Stanley says, Executive Order for Voting Rights Act and the John Lewis voting bill. President Biden knows there are those who will not what is right. So we do, but yes to all of that. And y'all know I've been calling on that for a moment now. And along with that, though, here's something that I thought about to hit on the voting rights. I would love for him just to sign an executive order and be done with it. But then I started thinking, just a couple of weeks ago, leading up to National Voter Registration Day, I started thinking, is it that he's not doing so to expose those who won't vote for it? Now, I understand that move, that chess move, if you will, but people aren't paying attention to that. People are only really remembering what you promised. And when I say what you promised, that's what President Biden promised, and they're not getting it. So they're discouraged about the work. So they're not willing to do certain things. I see my brother coming up in here. So yes to that. But until that point, we still have our work to do and get into our civic engagement to get it done. In most states, you can go again to BMVs or post offices and pick those up, but you really want them to do this online. You can register to vote in any state in the U.S. except Wyoming and New Hampshire online. So I thought that was interesting. Then there's like some frequently asked questions, like, what do I need? Each state, you got to go to your Secretary of State's website and find out what's needed, because now all these laws have been changing, as you all are aware of that. These laws have been changing. So you want to go and find out what's happening within your state. So don't tell someone, well, you need a vote, you need a state ID or state driver's license, because in a particular state, you may not need that. So verify that, because sometimes having to produce ID intimidates people. So you want to work through that. You want to give them space if you're doing it with them while you're walking them through it. So give them space. There are people today that are doing webinars, and they're telling people to bring their smartphones or tablets, and they're all registering together at a certain time today. So you can get real creative with this. You can go to the mall. There are different retail stores that are doing voter registration today as well. A lot of information booths, a lot of hotels have jumped on board in the U.S. At the concierge place, registering people to vote. There seems to be an effort today to get people to register to vote. Legal implications. There's a lot of questions. Can you register someone to vote? You can, but they have to have their signature, their information, and they really have to be the one to submit the button in case it ever comes back to you. What's up, Diane Ladybug? What's up, MK Walker? Good morning to you. So that's happening. Register where people gather, what I was just talking about, concerts, malls. They even put in here Walmart. Walmart is doing a serious drive today. Conventions, music festival, flea markets, supermarkets, conferences, parties, and other social events. People are doing gatherings just to register people to vote or to get them to go out and canvass, which I was talking about canvassing on yesterday. Register people who may be in line. Some people are talking about movie theater lines, and we're going to talk about the Woman King in a little bit. Well, I'm going to talk about it now. Kim Edmondson put something out there yesterday for those of us in Central Ohio, even if you have seen the movie previously. If you're interested in coming together and see the movie, just put that in the thread. And I don't know how Kim Edmondson is going to put it together, but she's going to put it together. So if that's you, if you said, hey, I want to go, I haven't seen it, or I want to see it again, I want to have a conversation behind that. I'm sure Latrice will put together some questions so we can have conversation behind that. So don't miss this opportunity to do a joint venture with doing that. Now, Dr. Antoinette, if you want to do the same in the Baltimore area, please do. I don't know if Nawana's on here yet. If you want to do the same I can't remember if she's in the Carolinas or Tennessee. No, Kimberly Graves in Tennessee. So Nawana in the Carolinas, do that. I know we have people who listen in from Georgia, do that. We can identify, we can all do that. And then we can do a webinar ourselves and have a conversation as well. So there's so much that can be done with that. Kim Edmondson, Deborah Johnson says she's interested in seeing the movie. Deborah also says we have to ask everyone we know if they are registered. I'm still shocked at the number of people who are not registered and the ones who are registered but don't vote. Yes, yes, yes. Amen to all of that. So absolutely yes. So just to continue up, register your own community that's to network and to meet people in your particular neighborhood. Register your friends and family. What Deborah just said, just ask a question and see. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised who is registered, who isn't registered. Kenny Stanley says registered but not voting is crazy to me. Me too. Yeah, me too. And then the other thing that they stressed during National Voter Registration, get this, y'all, they call it be loud about voter registration. They said be creative, get the word out among your friends and family, get some visibility. Hey, right here, News in Motion. They're talking about social groups, social networking, to share URLs, which is one thing that I continue to encourage you all to do. Now, here's a few other sites. We don't have the links for those, but ActiVote America, that's ActiVote America. And I don't know, these are .com, .org, or whatnot. Rock the Vote, you all heard me talk about them before. Declare Yourself is another one. Just Vote is another one. Y'all, many of them are linked into other major networks. The League of Women Voters is another great one. But y'all, we have to do our part. So now, y'all, I just want to talk briefly about it's being on the ballot before I bring in our guests. Y'all, immigration is on the ballot. Y'all saw what happened just last week. I'm trying to get this open. Just last week with Ron DeSantis, the Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, and Governor Greg Abbott of Texas. They misled some immigrants, got them on a plane, promised them a lot of stuff, and sent them to Martha's Vineyard, thinking that they were going to rattle what they call the liberals. But the liberals, as they called them, found them places to live, got them attorneys, got them food, got them jobs. What? But there's been an investigation by a Texas sheriff who has filed against Governor Ron DeSantis, saying that he trafficked those kids. Yeah. So that's coming up. That is coming up. There's a lot of information there. I'm sure you may have been following that story, but y'all, that is indeed on the ballot. It's on the ballot. Diversity is on the ballot. Diversity is on the ballot. And we just can't just say, oh, that's not on there. It's on there. Trust me, it's on there. Banning books are on the ballot. The Guardian had a great piece that was talking about there's a rapid acceleration of book censorship occurring across the U.S., with more than 2,500 different book bans taking place over the past school year, a new report has found. A total of 1,648 individual book titles, many of them that mention issues relating to race or sexuality, were the subject of bans by school districts in 32 states. In the last school year, according to a new analysis. More than 5,000, y'all, schools nationally have had books barred from access by students in libraries and classrooms, according to a report compiled by PEN America, which is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that supports freedom of expression and literature. Y'all, there's a lot of information out there, but they are banning books, which means they're banning our history. And hear me, book banning is on the ballot. And finally, you're on the ballot. Believe it or not, you are on the ballot. Each of us are on the ballot. That's why I'm so excited to bring in our guest this morning, Dr. Charles Ferguson. He's going to join us. He did an article for myself and my daughter for Ready Magazine, and that magazine is almost done. We're gonna highlight the cover of that tomorrow. We will be sharing the cover, and that magazine cover is fire. But we're going to be sharing that tomorrow. But if we can bring in Dr. Ferguson, so we can get this conversation started. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
I cannot complain. This early morning, the sun is up. We're doing our thing. So we're grateful to be here.
I like you said this early morning, like I did something to you. So, y'all, Dr. Ferguson is a senior pastor of Clare United Methodist Church right here in Columbus, Ohio. He is married to Marissa K. Ferguson and a proud father of Charles J. Ferguson. If y'all listen to our return of season 4 of our podcast, I had interviewed him there. So we're going to dig a little bit deeper now, talking about what's on the ballot, talking about the importance of voting. He wrote his article, and I can't wait till you all read it. It's an amazing article. Actually, our editor out of Oregon who was editing it called me up and said, "Who is this man? Where's his book?" Oh my gosh, this article just had me in tears and excited and so forth. So y'all, that's the kind of article he wrote. And it's called Recapturing Our Ubuntu with Dr. Charles W. Ferguson. So y'all, I want to start by first saying thank you for joining me today. But you put this title out here. How do we recapture it? And if you can first start by giving us a definition of what Ubuntu really means.
So Ubuntu is a phrase that originates from Africa. And the philosophy behind the word means basically, like I said, this is early in the morning. My brain's trying to shortchange me. I am because we are. We are because you are. Basically, it's about the collective nature of being community. As a community, if you're not good, I'm not good.
I like that.
If you're great, I'm great, because we're all in that collective together.
So if I'm not good, you're not good. Tie that into voting, because I think people go into the polls thinking about themselves based upon the popularity of a candidate. But at the same time, if I'm not good, how can we all be good? Why would we want our brother or our sister, regardless of race, background, heritage, ethnicity, sexual orientation, regardless of any of those labels? How can I not consider my neighbor when voting?
Well, one of the challenges is that we are in a world right now that is so inundated with self. And because we have been so inundated and we compartmentalize everything about us. If I'm not doing what I need to do for my family, if I'm not living in the right place for my family, if I'm not doing the things that are going to be beneficial to my house, why should I care about anybody else? On the flip side, if I'm not living the life that I want, if I am not um, having the advantages that I want, why should I worry about the collective around me? Which affects the way that we go about things, because the reality is there are more people that might be like us than
Right.
anything else. So if it affects me, 9 times out of 10, it's going to affect probably about 75 to 80% of the people that are just like me.
Okay.
And and just to throw this out here, the world doesn't realize this, but most of the world lives in the 90%. They're not on the 5% of the extremes.
Explain that 90% though. Go, you put it out there. We gotta go there.
No, that's fine. Mhm.
Yeah, go for that 90%. Break that down.
So in this world, you got what I call the 5% extremes. Either you're extreme this way or that way. People say
Okay.
left, right, whatever. Most people live in the 90%. You may agree with certain things that might be on the extreme edges, or most of us live in the middle, where we can understand and work through things that make sense to us, that are not necessarily extremist ideas, but they're balanced ideas.
Okay.
So if we're living in the 90%, we need to learn how to stay there. The world doesn't live on the extremes.
Got you. Got you. Okay. I'm following you. I'm following you. Now, there's a question that always exists in our community when dealing with the current landscape of our nation. You raised this in your article. World and environment at large. I love how you said this. You asked the question, what the hell is going on? So let me ask you, what the hell is going on? What is that? Because you're talking about the current landscape of our nation, the world, and the environment at large. So even to get down to community, we have to address that first,
Mhm.
especially when we're leading up to these midterm elections. Yes, no, why or why not?
So the reality is the idea of community is just broken.
Mm.
That's what the hell is going on. We we have a broken community. And I'm not just talking, and I'll start with us. Even as black folk, let's start there. And I'm not gonna get into narratives that we have parroted from others, from the dominant culture. People talking about, fathers being absent. That's a parroted idea, because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm with my son. There are fathers that are always present. Um, there's all that stuff. Some of those things do exist, but we keep on parroting things rather than lifting the things that exist within our community. Um, we have taken on ideas that have come from the dominant culture about what success looks like, when we have history that tells us that our success as a people did not come from certain things, but it came from actually being together. People bring up Tulsa, but we don't realize, or we because we haven't read our history or we don't pay attention to it, Tulsa wasn't the only Black Wall Street that we had. Come on, Columbus. Let's represent. Let's talk about what is now called the King Lincoln District, and that used to be our Black Wall Street. There was a Black Wall Street everywhere. We knew how to pull it together, and we had all that we needed within our community. And even beyond that, the idea that we don't have everything that we need, to a certain extent we still do, but it's about thinking about what does it mean to have everything we need within our community. So
Wow.
now that we're teaching people by our actions, by our mentality, this individualism, it is hard to pull back together and say, you know what? I have this, you have this. If we pull it together, it's going to become something. If I have influence in the political arena and you have the ear of the people and we pull it together, then we're able to make some moves. And if we actually pull together and understand what it is that we have and make sure we leverage what we have as a people, then we're able to move the meter in the direction of what is supposed to be democracy within this country. So
I love that. I love that. And how do we, I see what MK Walker is saying. She says our mentality has to change. Lori says, yes, it was. I'm not even from here. And I knew that. Now it is a completely different visual and feel. So how do we capture some of what you're saying and take that to the ballot? Because I really do believe we're on the ballot individually, each of us. You're on the ballot, I'm on the ballot, we're on the ballot. Every viewer of News in Motion, every person, we're on the ballot. How do we capture some of what you just stated to take that with us to the ballot? What do we need to do? And how let me, if I can add to that, those of us who are registered voters, how do we literally get up that day, whether it's early voting or the day of November the 8th, and say, I'm actually going to vote today? Because sometimes, many times, the elections are lost due to the fact that people just won't vote.
And I think if I remember, and I might mess it up a little bit, but just to use an example, in the previous governor's race here in Ohio, in the previous governor's race, where Michael DeWine won, the difference between him winning and losing, if I remember correctly, was like close to 2 million votes.
Yeah, you're right.
And 2 million votes.
Right under 2 million votes. But go
right
ahead.
under 2 million votes. And the breakdown of those 2 million votes, if you spread it between every ethnic community, every racial community, you could have found it. And most of that was those that just did not vote. You literally had the difference in those that did not vote. And people that say that the vote doesn't matter, let me say this. I can understand why people feel that way. Yet, I need people to understand that whether it's voting or any movement in the world, it is not what people do at the top, it's what we do here in the so-called bottom. The power is with the people.
Wow.
So the leverage is with the people. What you decide is the leverage. Why do you think that people would go through so many twists and turns to gerrymander, to redistrict, to change voting laws and everything else? Because they know that if the people ever get a mind to say, what we want is what we want, and we will galvanize to do something about it.
Right.
A lot of people will be in trouble. So this is what we need to do. We need to remember our history. And I'm not talking about the history that says, we demean people because, they're not doing anything. No. Remember your history. Number two, remember that, yes, when you're united, things happen, things move. And then realize one vote is actually important. Your opinion, your thoughts are actually important. And if we come together on a unified front, you will see the change, because there will be no other alternative but to make things change.
Right. For everyone who's tuning in, that is Dr. Charles Ferguson's website, that if you want to contact him or get more of his information. But I have more questions, so we're going to go a little bit longer today. You say in your article, many people are struggling to find their place in this world of constant turmoil. You call it turmoil. You go on to say some individuals are giving up on the prospect of a world that can be brand new. People have dismissed the hope of possibly experiencing equality and equity in their day. You go on to say it is challenging to look around and see what needs to be changed, while looking within and asking yourself if you have what it takes to make an impact on this environment. Break that down for us. I mean, because it is so rich. There's so much content just right there in those 3 sentences I read that really speaks to where we are today and what we could be facing come midnight, November the 8th.
So, excuse me. So let's look at it this way. The turmoil. We're constantly being inundated with so many negative images, negative things. Seeing the way that police are treating people, it's the way that the community is kind of turned in on itself, the way that laws are set up to continue to disenfranchise, right? That's constant turmoil. It's like, why keep on doing anything if it just seems like it's going to be the same old thing? Then when you get into that, you know, it's difficult. It's challenging for anybody that is committed to a better environment and a better world to keep on trying to chip away at this thing. You
Yeah.
know, I use the image sometimes from an old story, old mythological story, a black myth about John Henry, the steel driving man. And some of us feel like John Henry up against the machine. And you just do what you need to do. Now, what do we know about the end of the story? John Henry went up against a machine, kept on driving that steel, driving that steel. He won, but he died. So he couldn't even enjoy the fact that he
Yeah.
beat the machine. And there's a lot of people that are like, I don't know if I want to keep on doing this if I don't feel like I can beat the machine. But the truth is, there's a whole lot of people that were in the same spot and they died before they could see a manifestation.
Wow.
And sometimes we have to put within ourselves the understanding that everything for us and seeing the environment change is actually bigger than us. So whatever I do right now is bigger than me. It's for
Right.
CJ. It's not
Yes.
for me. It's for CJ. He's 8. But one day he'll be 18. He'll be 28, 38, 48. When
Yeah.
I'm gone, either he's going to keep on fighting or he's going to benefit from what happened right now with his daddy being 41. So that's the hard part. So it's either we're going to be John Henry or we're just going to let language back. And since I saw someone put this comment up here, let me get biblical with it. You know how many people got to see the promised land? A whole generation lost out because they looked at themselves and called themselves grasshoppers. Read the book. It's not because they couldn't have it, and it's not because they couldn't have it easier than the next generation ended up having it. It was because 10 people said in a meeting, we're going to go and tell everybody we see ourselves as grasshoppers, and we're going to lie about what we saw, and we're going to infiltrate the minds of everybody. And it caused a whole generation to die off, never seen the promise. So either we're going to be Joshua and Caleb, or we're going to die in the wilderness, wishing for Egypt.
This is so good. So good. So good. We can keep going for sure. I just wanted to remind everyone the special issue of Ready publication should be coming out real soon here. We are a little delayed, but the content's coming together. Designer is getting me a draft of it. I believe it's this Friday. The cover of it will be released on tomorrow. And we're real excited about this particular special issue. And it's all about these votings, things that are on the voting, the things that are on the ballot. All of our authors, their pieces are phenomenal. Deborah Johnson has a piece in there as well. Absolutely amazing. So Dr. Charles Ferguson is in there. And I just want to say thank you for being a part of this and for saying yes immediately. I had to chase you down for your article, but when you brought it to me, you brought it to me everything you had. I just want to say thank you. Yeah, if y'all want to follow him on his social media and Facebook, Facebook is Charles W. Ferguson. That's his personal. Again, that's Charles W. Ferguson. That's his personal Facebook. The professional one is Dr. Charles W. Ferguson. I mean, we'll put all these in there as well. Instagram is Rev Pressure 78. Rev, REV Pressure 78, the number 7 and 8. His church website is claireumc.com. And again, we'll put all of this in the page. And then Claire UMC Online Church, that's the Facebook content. And see, I'm answering you, Latrice. She says, where can we find more information about Dr. Ferguson? His book is Lead Me to the Stream. Did I say that right?
Led to the stream.
Read to the stream. I published it. I should know that, right? Phenomenal book. You want to check that out. You can find that on Amazon. Please support, y'all. Please support. MK Walker says, we will not always live to see our fruits blossom. Amen. The grasshopper sowed an incorrect narrative. Joshua and Caleb had it right. Yep. All of that's great. All right, y'all. Because I know him personally, and because he really has some great messages, you always want to check him out. Follow him because he will go live. He calls him in. He goes live in his car. I'm always like, please watch where you're going. Please watch the red lights. Please don't run over anybody. But he always has a message. So with that, we're going to allow. His Instagram is Rev Pressure 78. But we'll get all that in there. But we're going to allow Dr. Ferguson to do the inspirational message. And after that, we will go straight to the outro. So y'all all know what I say. I say, stay well. Remember to make some bold moves. Oh, one last thing before I go over to the inspirational message. Everyone, I have removed Facebook Messenger from my phone because I keep getting hacked every time it comes on there. So if you are sending an inbox message, I may not see it immediately. I won't see it till I get to my home computer and open it up. And that's only if I see the alerts, which I don't always see them. So just be mindful of that. Give me a little bit of grace if I'm not responding to you immediately on Messenger. I have removed the Messenger app from my phone, so I'm not seeing them as quick. So give me a little bit of grace on that. I try to remember to go and look at them, but many times I do not. All right, y'all, don't forget to check out Get With Kim Edmondson when it comes to the Woman King. Dr. Antoinette, let me know if you're doing anything in your direction. Nawala, let me know if you're doing anything in your direction. Kimberly Graves, let me know if you're doing anything in your direction. And others, there's a lot of states I did not call. Let me know so we can kind of like coordinate. It'll be fun. Then we can have a follow-up. All right, y'all, it's now time for the inspirational message. I'm out, but Dr. Ferguson will stay in.
All right. Let me share this with y'all as something that I recently wrote about, and I recently I've been working through an idea about what love is. And there's a difference between agape love and what I call transactional love. Transactional love is based and predicated upon what I can do for you, what you can do for me. It doesn't necessarily mean that I love you per se. It just means that I'm doing whatever it takes to meet some kind of need that you think you have. The reality is that by the time I run out of whatever it is that you need, or you run out of what I need, then it's not love anymore. The transactions are over. But what happens when you truly love your people, when you truly love one another? You find ways to do whatever it takes to make sure that that love is not only expressed, but that people know that you care. There's no limits. There's no conditions. You just do what it needs to be done in order to make sure that that love is not only expressed, but it goes forward. In this season that we are in, whether it's voting, whether it's meeting somebody's needs in some way, shape, or form, whatever it may be, the prayer is that we generate those ideas and concepts straight from the heart of where love is supposed to be. We know that the greatest of these things, there's faith, there's hope, there's love, but the greatest is love. So when you go to the ballot, think about how you love your neighbor. When you go into this world and you try to meet the needs of folk, think about how you love one another. Think about how you speak to each other. Think about and consider what it is when it comes to people's identity, how you respect and honor what their identity is. Think about all the things that are necessary, because if we do not love folk, not just where they are, but where they can be, then we're not doing our best to really express love at all. So I encourage you on this day, make sure that in every way, shape, or form, that you demonstrate not only the love of God, but the love that extends beyond to all of us. May the Lord bless you, keep you, and cause you to be blessed all day, every day.
No.